This is the Bob Lange Show.
The dangers America has faced, including what we are working through right now, are the anti-meritocratic policies and the suppression of free speech on the grounds of political policy, waged by two political parties and moneyed elites. Even unions were flexing. As the knee-jerks and squealing of the rejected policies and corruption are revealed for what they are, a majority of what gives America the potential to be a great nation will emerge, in my humble opinion. The cynical will say, oh, you want to bring back the evil parts of our past. Not at all. Those days are gone. We've applied many changes that will never reverse, and some that ought. It's a work in progress. Good on you, America. Keep that up. The current problems America and the world face are not new. From before Huey Long, George Soros, and Donald Trump, those with a thirst for dominion over others work to sway the masses. Controlled, at least in part, by sponsors, the media bows to them. And for Congress, the lobbyists and sponsors are permitted to write our laws. Not surprising or much of a reach to think much of the traditional media will either evolve or die. Alternative media is flourishing in the United States and around the world in places where they're able to. You can't believe the science if the science can't be questioned. You can't trust the media if they continually tell you how you're supposed to think and feel about the subject. Free speech must be free of fear to inquire deeper. Adlai Stevenson once said, "My definition of a free society is a society where it is safe to be unpopular. If I say I support electric cars, I get heat from one faction. If I say I support a balanced budget and minimal government, I get heat from the other. If you too try to balance opinions and the facts available to you, you'll be toasted too. That's fine. We're supposed to think things through. It's when we use politics rather than common sense laws to prosecute, incarcerate, and just destroy people solely on opinions, stifle the conflict of ideas, and prevent the innovation and progress possible in the name of a lack of conflict, that reasoning is dead. Obedience without question is where we were headed. Now, not so much. Buckle up, kids. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Our ability to discuss things in an open and free manner is critical to our constitutional republic, even though sometimes it'll sound like a tray of dishes falling down the stairs. This morning, getting ready for work, I saw traffic reports where someone was threatening to jump off one of our bridges locally, so they closed the highway below where the jumper was perched. This particular road is one of the main thoroughfares across the entire United States, hauling all manner of products and service providers to and fro, and everyday people just trying to get to work. In addition to the first responders marshaling resources and personnel trying to save the individual, the entire metropolitan area was turned on its head as backups formed 10 miles in every direction, and side streets were clogged. I surely felt sympathy for the person threatening to jump, thinking of what might have driven them to this point, and also sympathy for those stuck in a not-moving traffic jam. Hopefully there were no desperate ambulances in that backup. Hopefully there was not a house on fire waiting for firemen that were stuck in that same traffic. No one was winning this morning, right down to the traffic reporter and newsman trying to keep the public informed. Sometimes life just serves up one giant pile of poo. Chaos ensues. I've seen people in these situations lose it, and I'm not talking about the jumper. They've already lost it. I'm talking about the people in the traffic jams and the people diverted from their routine. Moms trying to get the kids to school, dad trying to get to work, nurses, doctors, butchers, bakers, and the candlestick makers, all the people who make this world spin in our favor, who are now scrambling in different ways to find alternate ways to complete their goal. Some will scream hysterically and cry, bang on the steering wheel, honk the horn. Some may even try some crazy illegal driving to try and get around the jam, only to find that they've made things worse. Imagine what the stress level of this person would have been back in the days before cell phones and instant messages. In the days before cell phones and instant messages, we had little choice but to cope. Just to be clear, coping with an uncontrollable situation does not mean acquiescence to its result. It requires tools of the mental type to perform the best actions in the situation. It'd be nice if we had a button on the dash that said, cope. But AI hasn't gotten that far yet. Give it a week. So what can all these people under extreme stress do to generate the best outcome? No, I'm glad you asked, because we're going to give you a couple tools to use in these situations right after this. Did you feel that? Music can really help in stressful situations when the world is full of chaos. But be careful. Choose the right music and use it liberally to help you through the stress. Now, here are the main points, and then we're going to fill in some of the colors after. Please remember, this is only my opinion and does not constitute professional advice from a mental health professional. This is just an elder statesman with many decades of experience in maneuvering life's slings and arrows, putting his 2 cents in to help navigate chaos. You want to employ techniques like, first, analyze what you can control. What you can't control, you can't control. You need to improve the communication within yourself and with others, of course, but embracing mindfulness, including recognition that you're in a situation where you need to adjust your reactions and believe fully that you will see the other side of this dilemma eventually. And what will I learn from this event that I can apply to my future plans, actions, or routines? When you're in a chaotic situation, practice self-care. Learn to meditate. Practice deep breathing. Music helps too. But avoid crap like stress eating or other artificial escapes. Drugs, alcohol, that crap. You could do it, and you have in the past, right? Plan other stress reduction methods to support good emotional health and gain insight into improving a seemingly impossible situation. All right, here's a more detailed breakdown of the techniques. We're going to color in the lines right now. 1, analyze, acknowledge, and accept what you can control and can't control. Recognize that chaos is a part of life, and try to accept situations as they are rather than fighting against them. Let the waves lift you off the sandbar and set you gently back on it, rather than rage against the sea. Focus on the present. Practice mindfulness by staying grounded in this current moment. Concentrate on your successful results in past instances and how you can do better in the current stressful situation. You may have doubts about this type of exercise, but the mind will recognize that you're doing all that you can, and just that simple fact can help reduce anxiety and the feeling of being overwhelmed. Which leads me into number 2, improving communication. Practice positive communication. When running your internal dialogue while you're in this high-stress moment and everything seems to be frozen in place and nothing looks like a good answer, keep it positive, inside the realm of what you can control or affect. In our traffic jam scenario, it might be something as simple as turning the radio from news talk and hysteria to classical music, or some really great classic oldies. But for now, don't touch that dial. It's better than stressing yourself out about 10 things that you imagine could happen that probably will not. I'm going to go out on a limb and say a meteorite strike is probably very, very rare. Also, when interacting with others, try to be mindful of your tone and word choice, focusing on positive and constructive types of communication. For example, don't flip them off. In our traffic scenario, it's better to let someone merge in front of you, performing a zipper merge. Okay, now you've de-stressed the person you let in, and you have an awareness of the grace you've achieved by being kind rather than a bleep hole. I know we've been discussing this horrible traffic jam and how to cope with it, but let's take a moment and look at ways to reduce stress in chaotic situations, not in a traffic jam, maybe at your work or at home. Man, this is an important one that's hard for Americans and some of the type A hyperactive go-getters. Active listening. Focus 100% and pay attention to what others are saying and try to understand their perspective. Even if you don't agree with it, just listen and don't react, but analyze. But you also have to remember to set boundaries. You have to set healthy boundaries in your relationships and at work. You want to protect your time and your energy. So when things get too nuts, remove yourself from the situation and give yourself some time. This is a good time to apply the techniques and methodologies we discussed previously in this show. I saved the big one for last, self-care. So there you are, in the car, stuck, nowhere to go, nothing's moving, and no one can tell you when it's going to shake out. Deep breathing, call it count to 10 if you like, or just use a cleansing breath. It can help you calm down in tough situations. It does take some practice to be effective, so practice deep breathing exercises such as inhaling deeply and exhaling slowly. You can even count while you do it in your head. This will calm the nervous system while chaos ensues around you. You can prepare yourself for situations like this ahead of time by engaging in regular meditation or yoga to reduce stress and promote relaxation, or just sit in a quiet place and read the good book. Let positive affirmations come in and negative ones be recognized for what they are and discarded as emotional reflex. Engage in activities that bring you joy and relaxation, such as spending time in nature or listening to positive music. Then, when you get stuck in traffic and you don't know when it's going to shake loose, you're going to be able to reach into these mental tools and survive with a lot less stress. Lastly, be kind to yourself. Acknowledge that it's okay to feel overwhelmed, pissed, stressed, or a little wild-eyed during chaotic times. Remember, self-care includes self-compassion. And, just for fun, here's a bonus tool for a less chaotic life. Prioritization and organization. Identify priorities, make a list, and prioritize tasks based on importance and urgency. They're not the same. They need to be looked at separately. Is this important, or is it urgent? Or both? Guess which one goes to the head of the class. Break down your tasks. Divide large tasks into smaller, more manageable ones to make them less daunting. And create a schedule. This is just like a priority list too. Develop a schedule for tasks to help you stay organized and on track and knock them down as they need to be knocked down. Franklin Covey has great tools and a process for doing just that. Here's another big one. Seek support. Talk to someone. Don't hesitate to reach out to friends, family, or a therapist for support and guidance. Consider joining a support group or an online community to connect with others who are experiencing similar challenges in life. If you're struggling to cope with chaos, consider seeking professional help from a therapist or counselor. Now, choose one that is credentialed and matches your personality. I have a Midwestern upbringing with a Southwestern United States mindset. Yeehaw! So my doctor has the same background, so when we communicate, it's very effective. Yes, I use a therapist, a PhD-level mental health professional, just as I use doctors for my medical, dental, and vision care. I also use a highly qualified mechanic for my car, and it runs really good, because I'm not working on it. They are my life team. Now you can include financial advisors, lawyers, CPAs, insurance reps in your team too. Modern society is, well, chaotic and social. We need people. We need a team. When the world flies into chaos, my team, including close friends and family members, get me through the stormy seas. Just remember, you're not alone. So, when the world turns to poop, call on your team to help you find the horse behind the pile.
This has been The Bob Lange Show. The opinions expressed are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of Spirited USA or any entities represented. This program is for entertainment purposes only and does not constitute professional advice. Thanks for listening.